Hi, if you're new around here, I'm Max and this is Rose. She's a Mercedes-Benz 310D Luton van. She's also very rusty and needs a lot of work. I plan to do most of the welding and repairs myself to get her through the first MOT in 5 years. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to come along for the ride.
Yes, you can see this right. If you can even see it. I have indeed taken the radiator off. Now I was going to film this, but in classic Max fashion, I was like, oh, I need to grab the camera, film it. But as well as me just forgetting about the camera, I also had no idea what I'm doing here. So I was sort of contacting a few people and putting on my stories, and to know what was happening really. So the radiator's off, and I didn't want to really take the radiator off. Like I said in the last video, I probably wasn't, but because now it's off, I've bought a new one. But first, the reason I took it off was to get to this triangle, the other side of the chassis that I've been doing. Still the sort of power steering pump lines are in the way, but I can get to that. But yeah, I just needed to get to it from this side. So today's task is to cut out this rot and fix it, which should be much quicker, because the other one took me 3 days. It was a day to make and weld the bottom bit of the chassis, then a day to make all of this confusing shape on the top, and then a day to all weld it in. Whereas this should just take me a day. That's ambitious, I know. But all the bottom bit's solid. It's just this top layer and the little triangle there, and it's a much less severe than the other side. So let's hope we can get it all done in a day. It's currently 9:30. Yeah. And I'm not repairing this bit yet on the leaf spring carrier. I know you can't see that, but I'm not replacing that bit yet. It's because someone contacted me and said they might have one spare from a Facebook group. So, well, I say spare. It was just one under the power steering pump and it had been leaking, so it's nicely preserved it. And I said, yeah, that sounds good. So if he's got that and he's willing to send me that, then that'll be awesome, and then that'll be loads easier. I'll just weld a new one on. I will be changing the bushes in them though as well, both sides, I think. Anyway, I'm rambling on way too much here. As I said before in my last video, there is a Patreon, and the videos are now going out a week early because I did a video on Lenny, which was last week, but I've just put that up and it's only Thursday, and yeah, so the video's going out roughly a week before. So if you do want to see the videos a week early, I'm going to try and not post as many things on Instagram, because the behind the scenes is going to try and keep to Patreon, so you'll be a week behind if you're on YouTube, which isn't too bad. But yeah, if you want up to date and you want to see the videos a week early, as I said, go check my Patreon out in the description. There's a few people that went over there, so I'm very grateful for you lot, and that sort of spurred me on to keep on doing it. If no one joined, I would have just gone, whatever. But yes, thank you all, and yeah, as I said, the link's down there. Well, that escalated quickly. I came to the conclusion that the best way to repair this rust without taking out the scuttle panel was to cut these bars. So I did. You can't even see me. I was going to weld it from underneath and just plate over it, the rust, and then I was like, cut it out. But both welding and cutting out were impossible because right here, where the rust is, there's no rust this side, but right here where the rust is, there's the wiper motor, which has its bracket, which is mounted like around it, so it's hiding it. So now all the rust that's just cut out has now dropped into there rather than into the footwell. Just put some rust converter where I can't reach the welds and there's there. One day maybe the scuttle will have to come off, which is windscreen out day. But overall, it's okay. As you can see, it's for the majority, it's a good scuttle. It's a really bang-on bulk. I can't get a brush in there without cutting these bars anyway. So I decided that cutting the bars was the best option. And I've also come to the conclusion that a friend of Bestwick, Jamie's, who I met years ago, who I've now met his friend called James, a Roman free with dots in between the words, on Instagram. I'll put the thing here. He's got a T1 motorhome and it's quite nice. It's got rust. They all do. But the previous owner of his has made little vents so the rain goes over it, but it's like Land Rover sort of vents. Not really, but you know, sort of. So, you know, they're like that so the rain can't possibly get in here, which I think I'm going to do. He doesn't look the nicest, but it stops water getting in there, because at the end of the day, if water's getting in there, even if I fix it now, one day it will rust. So yeah, that's the idea. But now I'm going to weld a panel in there, and yeah, and then that side I've got cut anyway, because that rust patch is right on the bars. So yeah, that has to be cut anyway. So I did just film cutting this out, but then my camera decided to do its weird SD card thing again. This is not becoming a very good thing. Yeah, well, I was just cutting it out just because I'm sort of working my way around now, and I was just sort of scraping the rust back, and I just wanted to access back here. Nice. So yeah, I just wanted to access back there. So I started cutting it out, and then I thought I'd film it, so I did, and I got to show you what I did yesterday evening, because I sort of worked through the evening and didn't film much because I was just getting on with it. It was mainly painting anyway, it's boring. But yeah, so just sort of working my way around now and cutting bits out, because once it's cut out without all this brown, ugly, rough edge stuff, and it's a nice straight edge and there's no rust, even though there's a massive hole in the floor, it still looks loads nicer. And then there's a bit up in this top corner that I found from underneath when I was painting yesterday. But she's looking tidy now. She's looking tidier. I don't add tidier. This is not very tidy. So yeah, tidier. And there's a seat, and obviously the floor's done down there, and it is so getting there. It's like, I'm hoping by Vanlife Festival that the brake lines are done, because they need doing because they've got holes in, and the middle of the chassis is all welded up, and all this front end is done, and the cab's done, and the seat's in, and then I can drive, because I've been driving it on the seat box without the seat, which means you can't really drive it because you're holding yourself up using the clutch and stuff. And last time I moved it here I had no brakes, so I was using a handbrake, which is really weird. So I'll get the handbrake back in, but I'll also get the brake lines fixed, and then a chair, and I can drive this van and spin it round, and that's gonna be amazing, because at the back the slabs, the patio that's here, doesn't go all the way to the back, So I'm going to spin it around, so I'm working on the patio, otherwise I'd be working on the mud, which I don't want to be doing. So I think I left you off yesterday with the scuttle panel over here, and what I've done is put a load of seam sealer on it to make it waterproof, and then I put some CT1 in some other areas, and I'm going to pour a load of water in there and see if it comes down the bulkhead on the inside or the outside, because it came down both ways before. So let's again start from this side. So what I've done is I've painted all of what I welded yesterday in the red oxide, and I've painted as far back as I possibly can, because yes, this is hard to access, but tomorrow when the radiator goes back on, it's going to be even more hard to access. So I'm doing it now. This side I've just ground back to do it. Haven't yet done it. And then the leaf springs I'm painting in black all surface paint, which is what I did my car in, if you saw that video. Get your card up here. And then so yeah, Rust-Oleum all surface for like these pipes as well, and then that, and then the trim on around the indicator surround, I'll show you that in a minute. I've painted that black because it didn't come with one. The guy painted all the trims black, the previous owner, but because it didn't have that one, he obviously didn't paint it, and I ordered a second-hand one, and it came all faded and with like green masking lines, where obviously they'd painted their van green. So painted that nice and black. Painted this steering arm black, and then I've just ground this one back to paint this one black, and then this leaf spring is going to go black as well. So I'm just making my way to this side, and then obviously there's all this rust here, which will be a repeat. I'm going to leave this for next week, and I'm not going to film it, and next week's video will be what I do on here. We shall see what actually happens. So as you can see here, nice black shiny surround, and I finally bolted this wing on. I know it's a bit backwards because I still need to do the brake line, so it might have to come off again, but I don't care, because this, oh, it's raining, let's not let the extension lead be in the rain. I don't care because it's the first time it's properly been bolted on, and I was just sort of, the M6 bolts, obviously I don't know what he must have done, maybe drill them out, because there was no thread in the welded nut behind, so I had to tap a new thread, M6 thread there, and then put this nice bit on, and yeah, and it fits nicely. But I thought it went around the indicator, turns out the surround goes on, then the indicator goes in, and yes, I did break this. I need a new one, 15 quid, so not too bad. But yes, because it wasn't bolted on here, it fell off onto something that was on the floor, and I smashed that. Great! Yeah, so it's all coming together. As you can see, that chassis leg is all painted apart from the bit that needs welding. We'll go through the mechanical bits in the next video. If you're interested in what I'm doing here, then please do yeah, make sure you like and subscribe and stick around for the next video, which I'll be going through what I'm changing, why I'm changing, and how it's come to be such a big job. So, hello everyone, this is everything painted, and as you can see, it's looking very smart. The alternators, power steering thing, all black, steering arms, leaf spring black, red oxided all the way to there, to that hole, which needs welding. Leaf springs black again, pipes, and then the front cross members also red oxided that goes across there. So yeah, painting is almost done. If you want to access the videos a week early, I'm on Patreon. I'll stick the link in the description. Please do go check it out, and I'll see you next week. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment down below to see what you think, and stick around for when my friend, who's just coming around the corner, when we do the radiator and put it all back together.